There has been many Minecraft bugs that Mojang was either too lazy to fix or didn't care about, and they became features. But some of them are pretty game breaking, so let's take a look at 10 Minecraft bugs that now are features. The first happy accident was an amplified word generation. If you go back in time to 2013, a Minecraft developer Jeb tweeted out this, meaning that the amplified word wasn't even supposed to be part of the game in the first place, and it was just an accident while messing up with the word generation code. And since it looked pretty awesome, Mojang decided to keep it in the game. I definitely like it, and when you want to try it out yourself, make sure you don't burn down your PC, since it uses up quite a lot of resources. Next up, let's talk about the bug that allows you to clearly see under the lava. These ones have been in the game for a long time, and each time Mojang fixes the bug in a newer version, a new one is found. In the last version we had the grindstone, and now in 1.18 we have the lanterns. Just place a lantern above the flowing lava like this, and you can easily see everything. At this point, I think that a bug like this won't ever be fixed, since the community will just keep on finding new ways to do it. But moving on, we have another bug that gives you enhanced visibility, and that's the X-ray bug that allows you to see caves and mobs through the walls. It is most famous for using composters, but in the 1.18 update, the composter method got patched, so the players had to find something else. And they did, by using slabs and a piston. It didn't even take long after 1.18 for the players to discover this, and the X-ray bug gets to live another version. In my opinion, it is the most useful when you're trying to find caves or a mob spawner under the ground, so I'm glad that it still somehow exists. For the next one, let's go to the nether. For some reason, glitching through bedrock to get to the nether roof is still possible. This one is a bit weird, since in the bedrock version of the game, you are not able to place any blocks on the nether roof, making the bug basically useless. But in Java, by just using a ladder and an ender pearl, you can get to the nether roof and even build there. A lot of Minecraft farms are built all above the nether roof, so it is really useful. This also proves that if Mojang wanted, they could just disable the ability to build above the bedrock. But instead, it has been in the game for as long as I remember, and it probably won't ever be removed. Back in the overworld, this one is actually super useful in many farms, and that is the F3 plus T auto clicker bug. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. When holding down your mouse 1 or mouse 2 and then pressing F3 plus T and letting go of the mouse button, the button will stay down until you press it again. This can be used in cobblestone generators, tree farms, and in many other farms where a constant player interaction is needed. Super useful little tip when wanting to AFK, and I'm pretty surprised that it still has not been fixed. Seems like a pretty easy thing to do, but who am I to tell? Next, let's travel into the desert and see an old bug that Mojang itself turned into a feature quite some time ago. And that is the floating sand and gravel. I'm sure you have seen it before, but did you know that it was actually a bug at first, and Mojang just decided to add some particles to the blocks and called it a feature, so it warns you of a possible collapse. I have to give it to them, that is pretty creative, and possibly even useful when exploring in the caves. But who is even more creative is the person who first discovered that you can break bedrock by just using some TNT and pistons. To be fair, this has been in the game for a long time, and Mojang has also tried fixing it, but with no success. Every time it gets fixed, people just find a new and even easier way to do it. So at this point, it's pretty much a feature. And I'm not complaining, breaking a block of bedrock is much easier than using a ladder and an ender pearl every time you want to get to the nether roof. Talking about making your life easier, let's take a look at the different dupers that still have not been fixed. Probably the easier ones to build are the carpet and rail dupers. Both of these have been in the game for years, and Mojang has still done nothing. But I guess that they are not that OP, so it doesn't really matter. We also have a gravity block duper that's been in the game for way too long. This thing is a bit more complicated, but a lot more useful. With this you can duplicate sand, gravel, dragon eggs, and also concrete powder. There is another duplication glitch, probably the most famous one, the TNT duper. This is useful in many different farms and redstone builds, and the reason why it's still in the game is probably because in Java version you can't move entities like dispensers. so you can't build a flying machine that has dispensers and it drops TNTs. And until we can't do that, the TNT duping probably won't be removed. But did you know that one of the Minecraft mobs was actually a mistake and never supposed to be in the game? Yep, that's right, and I'm talking about the creepers. A creeper is actually a failed pig model with an absurdly long torso. You see, Notch simply mixed up a couple of coordinates when creating a pig model and accidentally made a weird, tall pig that was later added into the game as a creeper. It's pretty unusual considering how famous the creeper is today, so adding that one was really a good choice. Hunger is a huge part of the survival gameplay, especially if you're playing on the hard mode, and we all know how it can just disappear after a bit of running. But what if I told you there is a way you can sprint while only losing the amount of hunger you would lose while walking? To do so, just start sprinting and kill a mob while doing so, and then just keep sprinting on. Now until you actually stop, you will basically lose no hunger. The game will think that you are walking while actually you are sprinting. It's pretty useful when someone is chasing you and a mob gets in the way. This has also been in the game for way too long, but lots of people still don't know about it. Do you think Mojang should remove these bugs or keep them as features? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, see ya!